Is it just me, or is Japan obsessed with combat butlers for whatever reason? I mean, from Sebastian to Sebastian, they just keep turning them out. Or at least the example I can recollect is Norman from Big O, and in that case, that was a bit more of an XP of Alfred Pennyworth. Gets kind of repetitive is all I'm saying. Then again, as long as they're not speechifying every scene they're in, then maybe I shouldn't complain. Last week, Himari offered Aoi the reporter position, knowing full well that she was far more sociable and therefore the better talker. Aoi, however, turned it down for whatever reason. Well, this week we learned why. She wanted to keep a low profile, decided for Creepazoid butler Mizushima. Though that also seems to be a trait shared amongst many anime butlers these days. Anyway, he smoke bombs Aoi's concert and whisks her away. Apparently he wanted her to give up her brutish little lifestyle of rock music and such, and take on a more refined lifestyle. In other words, become a traditional blue precure. Ease up there, little dude. I'm going to be reviewing Heartcatcher in a few weeks, and I can tell you right now, the peppy blue ones can bring in some serious numbers. But yeah, obviously we're getting the whole character being pulled away from what they love to do by the rich family scenario that Toei really likes to use a lot. Granted, it does have a sort of ad layer with Mizushima's backstory of him being taken in by Aoi's family at a young age, and forming a brother-sister-like bond with her. Still, that doesn't quite change the fact that this is really played out, so forgive me if I'm not that much into it. The rest of the girls contemplate ways of getting Mizushima to lighten up on raising Aoi, and just as they're about to come up with something, Giulio comes in to both discourage their efforts, as well as provide some general demoralization. Again, the Cube is strong with this one. Still, unlike last week, he didn't foresee Ichika getting a renewed vigor, and completely ignoring what he just told her, leaving him with a semi-meme-worthy face. Oh, sorry dude, that's gonna cost you some badass points when you look like a One Piece character. Ichika comes up with a plan where they'll sneak into a garden party being held at Aoi's residence and distract Mizushima and the guests with some unique desserts. And by sneak in, I mean they'll bring their magical portable bakery with them. Because yeah, I'd happily partake of some strange blue jello created by these not at all suspicious looking bakers coming out of their magical workshop. Actually, that's a jelly dessert created from agar as opposed to gelatin. Agar itself having played a major part in many Asian confectionaries for a while now. Anyway, Ichika manages to find Aoi and suggests she convince Mizushima to accept her musical lifestyle by throwing together an out-of-nowhere concert. Seriously, I get that the other servants helped set up this little venue, but they also managed to get it all set up while Mizushima had his back turned. He didn't notice or hear the subwoofers being set up? Whatever, we still ended up with another good insert song moment, with probably my favorite vocalist in this little group, so I won't complain that much. And indeed, even Mizushima is taken aback by her song to the point that even eating a little vegan dessert becomes a magical experience. Which, of course, is the signal for Giulio to come a-calling. Yeah, even though having Aoi empower some Kirakira with her music wasn't part of his original plan this week, he still at least knew how to adjust on the fly. His wand this week turned into I think a spear, though it also has the ability to shoot out a bunch of laser spears or something. Huh, a spear-like weapon that fires multiple projectiles. Now where have I seen that before? Methinks somebody is more into magical girls that he's laying on. Anyway, in spite of being spammed with field nukes, the Precure are able to mount a counterattack when Aoi gathers up some Kirakira from Mizushima that Giulio missed out on. He likely missed it because Mizushima was repressing his feelings for Aoi and her music. In other words, the power of the Sundari saved the day. Thank you, tired anime tropes. Like the previous two, Aoi casts a new spell that makes me pine for the days of actual physical combat in Precure, and they defeat Giulio in rather quick fashion. The episode ends with Mizushima allowing Aoi to return to her music and being part of the team. $10 says Aoi's actually blackmailing him with the fact that he's a closet fanboy of hers. Anyway, this episode felt kinda flat, but it at least was elevated a little bit by Aoi and her singing. It's kind of disappointing to say that, since Aoi is my personal favorite cure of this season. I love her taste in music and her free spirit, which was actually highlighted pretty well here. We learned that she grew tired of her confined lifestyle as an heiress to some big-ass conglomerate or whatever, and found release in music. Little cliche, but it does at least add to her character. What isn't quite as beneficial is a pointless scenario where she has to prove to her overbearing butler that rock isn't uncouth and all that. Seriously, she wasn't even trying to win over her parents or anything, but rather to damn help. Worst of all, Aoi herself really didn't develop that much in this episode like Himari did last week, just got more affirmation that music is a worthwhile endeavor. Still, this episode had its fair share of cute moments, and of course great music as always. I am so buying Aoi's CD the first chance I get. So at least it wasn't a total loss. We've got 2 more cures to go before we move on with the plot, and hopefully we can get some actual development next week. As I hinted at earlier, I should have the first part of my Hardcatch review up before the month is over. I've started up on the script for it, along with putting the finishing touches on my top disguised characters list. That should be up by Tuesday or so. Look forward to it, and until then, farewell for now, my friends. I'm guessing you didn't like being treated like a pedophile.